Hello everyone, welcome to Gringa Spanish. I am Christy and today we will be going over a grammar lesson. Today we will be talking about the imperfect tense again. We will be talking about irregular verbs. So last time we talked about regular verbs in the imperfect tense. Remember, the imperfect tense is one of the two ways to talk in the past tense in Spanish. You have the preterite that describes an action that took place at a definite time, and you have the imperfect, which describes actions that were habitual or continuous, or grammatically it's used to say what you were doing when something else happened. If you want a little more of an explanation of that, check out the first video. But the imperfect is a really, really useful tense to be familiar with. We use it all the time in conversation to tell people about ourselves, to tell people what we used to do when we were kids, or what we used to do when we were in college, or we use it constantly. So you're really going to find that learning how to use this tense improves your Spanish a lot. So last time we went over regular verbs, and today we're going over irregular verbs. And I know the irregular verbs is usually the hard part, right? These are the verbs that break the rules. There's a lot of memorization. You just have to know it. But I have really good news for you guys today, because today is legitimately going to be the easiest Spanish grammar lesson you've ever had in your entire life. Are you ready? There are only 3 common verbs that are irregular in the imperfect tense. And what do I mean by common? I mean all of them. Like, all of the common verbs. Like, the top 2,000 words in Spanish, including, like, the ones you're used to seeing. That I'm like, oh, when you think common, I want you to know you are never going to hear a word that is irregular in the imperfect tense except these. I think there was one that I found searching a little bit that was prever. But it's a very, very uncommon verb, and most lists don't even include it. Prever means to foresee, and if you do want to conjugate that, you just take the conjugations for this one and add pre to the beginning. And that's it. Those are the only 4 that I could find by looking online, and I've never heard the word prever before. So just focus on these ones and you're going to be good to go. And these verbs are pretty common, so it's going to be easy for you to memorize. You're going to use them all the time, and it's going to become second nature very easily. So ser means to be, ir means to go, and ver means to see or to watch. So let's learn how to conjugate these verbs in the imperfect tense. Okay, so ser. The conjugations for ser in the imperfect tense are yo era, tú eras, él or usted era, nosotros éramos, vosotros erais, ellos eran. And here we have 2 examples. Cuando era niña, me gustaba jugar con mis hermanos. So cuando era niña, when I was a child, when I was little. If you were a male, you could say cuando era niño. Cuando era niña, me gustaba. Gustar is also conjugated here in the imperfect tense, but it is a regular verb. Me gustaba, I used to like. And when you have me gusta, you always follow it with the infinitive. If you're saying I like to do something, me gustaba jugar, to play, con mis hermanos, with my brothers. One more time. Cuando era niña, me gustaba jugar con mis hermanos. When I was a little girl, I liked to play with my brothers, or my siblings. 2. Antes de que él se fuera, éramos felices. Antes de que, before, él se fuera, before he left. Remember, when you say antes de que, you need to use the subjunctive. So this is actually the past subjunctive here. Don't worry about that. I just want you to know why it's not él se fue or él se iba or something like that. Antes de que él se fuera, before he left, éramos felices. This is what I want you to concentrate on. We were happy. We used to be happy. We were happy at that time. All right. Ir. Ir means to go. This is super useful. I actually gave you this one in the past video because it's extremely useful. Let's look at it again. Yo iba. Tú ibas. Él iba. Nosotros íbamos. Vosotros ibais. Ellos iban. Cuando los vi, iban al cine. Cuando los vi, when I saw them. So los is the pronoun that tells you who the verb is happening to. Here we have vi, which is the preterite form of ver, which is to see. So ver is another one of these irregular imperfect verbs, but here you're saying I saw them. This is another, grammatically, this is an example of like the setting the scene concept. You have one verb that happened in a moment, and you have another verb that was going on. So cuando los vi, when I saw them, that was a thing that happened. Iban al cine, they were going to the movie. So el cine is the movie theater, and iban is they were going. So ir, imperfect. If you're saying, I went to the movies last night, you would say, yo fui al cine anoche. You're saying it grammatically, you're saying, I went to the theater last night. It is a thing that happened. But here you're saying, cuando los vi. When I saw them, what was going on when you saw them? That's why you use the imperfect, because the imperfect describes what was happening. Or actions that you used to do multiple times. Here, it's the first one. Something was happening grammatically when the other thing happened. So when I saw them, iban al cine, they were going to the movies. 2. Antes de 2020, I'm not gonna try. Antes de 2020, íbamos a bailar cada fin de semana. Before 2020, we used to go dance every weekend. I messed up, guys. Don't tell anyone. Okay. 3. Yo iba a disculparme. I was going to apologize. Pero ella rompió conmigo. But she broke up with me. So to romper means to break. And when you're breaking up with somebody, you say romper con alguien. Break up with somebody. You can also say cortar con alguien. That means... cortar means to cut, but it also means to break up with somebody. So this is the really useful way to use ir in the imperfect tense that I told you about last time. So the same as when you say yo voy a hacer algo, I'm going to do something, and it's kind of a hack to be able to talk about doing things in the future. I am going to the store. You use to go, or I am going to go to practice later. I am going to do my homework later. You use to go to talk about something that you're going to do. When you use the imperfect tense, you can use ir to talk about things that you were going to do. And whether you got to do them or not, you can tell the person. But this happens all the time, right? So this is a really, really useful way to use this word. So yo iba a disculparme, pero ella rompió conmigo. I was going to apologize, but she broke up with me. You can say, yo iba a decirle la verdad. I was going to tell her the truth, but I never got the chance. So remember, use ir in the imperfect tense to say things that you were going to do. Alright, and the last one is ver. Ver means to see. So yo veía, tú veías, él or usted veía, nosotros veíamos, vosotros veíais. Ellos or ustedes veían. Okay, so we have some examples. Cada día la veía en la escuela. Every day I would see her at school. 2. Me dolía cuando los veía juntos. Me dolía. So this comes from doler. Doler means to hurt or to feel pain. Me dolía cuando los veía juntos. Remember, los is a pronoun that's telling you who the verb is happening to. Veía, I used to see something. Los, them. So I would see them. Me dolía cuando, it hurt me, cuando los veía juntos, when I would see them together. And because this is in the imperfect tense, you know that the speaker saw them together multiple times. It's not just, oh, like I saw them together last night and it hurt me. No, he's in, maybe this is at school, maybe this is at work, maybe this is in some kind of shared social group. It hurt me when I used to see them together, which happened many times. 3. Nos veíamos todas las semanas en la práctica. Nos veíamos, we would see each other, todas las semanas, every week, en la práctica, at practice. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is I just want to confirm with you. Yep, all these verbs that normally are the troublemakers that are irregular in every single tense you've ever heard of, they are regular in the imperfect tense. Just use the rules that you know. So, haber is extremely useful. So you don't really hear this conjugated in too many different ways. It's usually in the present tense or the imperfect tense, in my experience. But haber is a really, really useful word. It means to have done something. So using haber in the past tense, and usually it's irregular. It is very irregular. Usually the first time people see haber, they're like, what is this word? Like, it looks so different from how it looks like it should be conjugated regularly. And then on top of that, it's not that common. So usually it trips people up a lot when they see it. But haber in the imperfect tense is regular. So yo había hecho algo. That means I had done something. Yo le había dicho. I had already told him something. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but haber means to have done something, and the verb that you follow it with, you have to use the past participle. I go into this a little more in some other videos, and maybe I should make a solo grammatical video on it, but let's just go through the conjugations. Yo había, tú habías, él había, nosotros habíamos, vosotros habíais, ellos habían. Estar, completely regular. Even in the present tense, estar is irregular because it has an accent. In the imperfect tense, forget about it. Completely regular, nothing weird going on here. Yo estaba, tú estabas, él estaba, nosotros estábamos, vosotros estabais, ellos estaban. Tener, that means to have. Yo tenía, I used to have. Tú tenías, you used to have. Él tenía, he used to have. Nosotros teníamos, we used to have. Ellos teníais, you all used to have. Ellos tenían, they used to have. Hacer, that means to do. Yo hacía, I used to do. Tú hacías, you used to do. Él hacía, he used to do. Nosotros hacíamos, we used to do. Vosotros hacíais, you all used to do. Ellos hacían, they used to do. Or ustedes hacían, you all used to do. Okay guys, that's it for this. Super, super easy, super straightforward. Put these words to use immediately. You will see them all the time. And now when you go watch movies or listen to songs, you will hear these words. So I hope this helped you. Please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment. If this video helped you, it really makes me, it encourages me to keep making these videos if people find them helpful. So please let me know. Did I make any mistakes? I'm not perfect. Let me know in the comments. Spanish is not my first language. But the struggle of learning it, I think, has made me a better teacher than if I was somebody who spoke it growing up. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.